Yeah, and here's where the frustration starts. I initially tried to dump them in the shuttle. Then I tried to get them some oxygen, and then I was like, okay, they're all unconscious. I mean, I could simply have just let them die and salvage their ship, which had a lot of stuff in it. I mean, piracy, yay. Um, but I was nice and gave them 5 tech blocks, so I was feeling nice today, and thought I'd try to rescue them. I suddenly saw that one of the NPCs got up and started hauling guys back, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll let him do that. And yay, I can, he's doing that. I can finish salvaging the ship. Okay, great. And as soon as I do that, as soon as my shuttle leaves its bay, those unconscious people next to my shuttle, when I leave, all die, just automatically. I guess it's a temporary structure, so once you exit it, it does something nasty to anybody lying there. So I'm like, okay, great, go along, and only Labula comes out. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And I've got this mission or this salvage options to take away the dead bodies. I'm like, what the? So I'm like, spend all that time, so I'm going to reload. And I'm like, okay, so how do I get this guy to? Okay, so I don't capture the ship yet. I'd let him do his stuff, but it doesn't work out. I'm like, oh great, so what the hell? So we'll try again. So Lab Hala is gonna get up. I know that, so we just get sorted, and maybe I can help by giving them oxygen so they don't die before. And it was like, why did my guy take off? And damn it, I pressed the wrong button. So here we go again. So I'm like, okay, get them all oxygen. Whoops, I've got Lavulan. Great, what am I gonna do? Crap, I need Lavulan. He's gonna wake up soon. So I'm like, crap, what do I do? Man. So I dump Lavhala, and I start getting my guys back on, get on everybody. So okay, great. They've now got oxygen. Great. So what's Lavhala doing? He took off in his ship. So okay, everybody get aboard, and we're just gonna chill. And what the hell's Lavhala doing? So I'm like, okay, they're running out of oxygen. What? Okay, never mind. Screw it. So all over again. So I'm like, oh right load. Okay, so what are we gonna do? So I'm like, I'm definitely gonna give them oxygen. Lavhala's unconscious. Okay, well, we've got to get him moved away. I'll move him over there. I'll drop him over here. Okay, great. Grab all my guys, get aboard, give them oxygen. Great. Okay, now, so what do we do now? Okay, so Lavolin's going to take off. Great. What's he going to do now? I have no idea. So I'm like, okay, what are you doing? You're going to do the same thing, aren't you? Civilians, but he's not going to go to the operations console. A lot of the times he just refuses to go to the operations console. And, God. So I've explored it. Great. And Lavhala comes back. I'm like, what the hell? What are you doing? So he takes off again. I'm like, what the? So everybody's passed out. I've got them on the shuttle passed out, and I've dropped them off here in the expectation that they'll go to the medical bay, or somebody will take them to the medical bay or something. So I'm like, oh, what the hell? So I should have just left it running now that I know what happens. So here, I'm like, screw it. I'm going to get Valhalla, dump them over there. Everybody get aboard. I'm going, now that I know that I can get them to my ship alive, I'm like, yeah, but what the hell's going to happen then, though? It's like, are they refugees? What's going on? But no, they can't be. I mean, Valhalla's going to try to rescue them. Oh, and he passes out. I'm like, oh, great. I'm like, man, this totally sucks. I'm getting really frustrated right now. It's like, Jesus, how the hell? So I've got 3 options. I can let them all die and then salvage both this ship and the other ship. I can try to rescue all of them, or I could let Valhalla do his stupid thing and try my very best to get him to take his guys, like he did in the beginning, away. So he takes one, and then something happens. The ship takes off. I'm like, what the? So I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna scream. So I'm like, no, let's go back to the beginning. Okay, here we go. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. So Valhalla's determined to get on that shuttle somehow. I'm like, all right, I'll let him do his thing, but I am going to rescue everybody else and take them to my ship, because this is getting annoying. I've got to rescue them somehow, and this stupid AI is just acting really dumb. So I'm like, okay, screw it. Of course, he's passed out. Jesus Christ. So I'm like, okay. So I leave him there. Oh, he's up and about. Great. So his ship's coming back, hopefully to pick him up for the final time. Okay, he's aboard and he's away. Great. Okay, that solves that problem, and I've solved the other crewman problem. Oops, my guys are running out of oxygen. Uh-oh. So I get my guys back over here, get some oxygen quick. I should have gone to the platform to get some oxygen, but I make it in time. All right, there we go. That was so annoying. So the shuttle is not going to get Valhalla is not going to board my ship, because that's illegal in mechanics terms. But what it is doing is docking, because there's crewmen aboard, but they're unconscious. But the shuttle doesn't know that mechanically. So the mechanics are just like, whoop, must go dock and pick up my guys, because they're going to wake up and come to the ship. So he keeps doing that. So that was like, all right. So I'm like, okay, I need a refugee center eventually. This is silly, and I know they're not refugees, but I'm like, I've got refugees in my brain. So I'm like, okay, screw it. I'm like, how am I going to do this? Am I going to make their own mess hall? It's like, no, wait a minute. I've got algae feeders there. Why don't I just let them use my break center for their own use, for their leisure time? I'm sure it won't work out. Once it actually happens, I'll change my mind. I'm like, okay, I'll have lavatories, 2 of them, and I'll make bunk beds. Okay, cool, done. So that gets done. And as you can see, my actual kitchen is turned off and next to the storage bins. I eventually turn it on there, but I get really angry because it's not working out the way I wanted it to. having any food interaction with your storage bins is, yeah, it's kind of an annoyance. So I eventually moved that. And I was staring at these guys going, oh, cool. And I'm looking at his operation center or navigations screen, and I'm like, oh man, I've got my own operate systems consoles turned the wrong way. I want to see that stuff. That's cool. Oh yeah, note to future self. Build your ship on the opposite, on the starboard side, so you're, mirror image, so everything's got your consoles. I can see the consoles. That'd be cool. But beggars can't be choosers, especially in harsh difficulty. So unbeknownst to me, if you look in the south portion at 6 o'clock, I've got an airlock facing the wrong way. I learned my lesson last time, but apparently I didn't learn it well enough. I think it's because the lack of space, I'm next to the storage bins. I want to face them the other way, and that's the thought. The lack of space, ugh, and not thinking I need more space to accommodate the airlock facing the other way. So I end up moving the entire industry section of that area over to the southwest just by one space. And yeah, I do a reload. Here come the toilets, which actually turns out pretty well. Both my guys and refugees can use the toilets, so I was happy with the arrangement. And they started acting intelligently about going to the washroom, so that was a win. I did crew and refugees selection. Yeah, the bathroom situation was ticking me off for a while. And I put those seats in near the industry area because I read on just before this session started on Discord about how your guys actually, while they're working, they need breaks, sit-down breaks during their work. So if you have a chair near them, they'll go there instead of all the way to the recreation center. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try that. But unfortunately, people kept trying to go sit down during their leisure time at the chair next to the interior airlock on the near my original industry area. It's not the best place for a leisure area, that's for sure. So I was thinking of removing it, but I was like, screw it, not yet. My real issue is priorities. How to, when you're new at the game, it's all a blur on how to set priorities, and maybe set your highest skill to the highest priority, or the thing that you think is important to the highest priority. And I did put botany close to the highest priority, but didn't realize that you get a minus 75% grow time when they're untended. So I ended up increasing that grow time. And I'm just watching this going, are you going to repair that damaged thing down there? Yeah, apparently not. They take off before they fix it. I gave them enough tech blocks. I gave them 5 tech blocks. It was just, why did I do that? Basically, this is just me prepping, getting ready for the siren mission. I get a 3rd fighter bay for it, and I get a shield. I know it's not going to do anything to protect me against the robots, but it's helpful, especially when You want to dock your fighters permanently and just let the shield take care of any asteroid impacts, or micrometeors are a big threat, especially to micro beds, because you don't know where they're going to hit on the ship. Whereas asteroids, at least if your shields are down in a nebula and you get a big asteroid hit, micro beds are in the middle of the ship, and I'll eventually have a gas scrubber in the far north of my area next to the Advanced Learning Center station. Having gas scrubbers surrounding my grow beds is going to be very important. I eventually do get a fire up in the north, and the smoke travels through my grow bed area, and I learned my lesson quick. Thankfully, it was a small amount of smoke, so none of the crops died. And the reason I've got priorities for industry very restricted to the ones with the highest industry and very few per shift is that the recycler, the chemical refinery, and the energy refinery all take an obscene amount of power, and I end up going into backup power often if more than one is active. So I'm planning on expanding the north, so I just make an oversized bedroom in expectation of making a wall separating everything. And spoiler alert, I need lots of medical bays for the Siren mission. There are 5 waves of enemies, and you basically have to retreat and then come in with your best team with lasers and take out the robots. And the annoying thing is there's a bug where if the robots are in certain spots on the Siren Island, you'll miss them automatically, and you have to move your guys a little bit, say 1 square all, in order to retarget and actually hit them. So that's how you lose a lot of people, because they're all missing automatically when they're firing anything at the robots. So when they get into, the robots get into certain spots on the map. So that was super annoying, but it didn't force me to, there was no rage quit reload. I just gritted my teeth, grinned and bared it, and got through that without too much save scumming. I save scummed once during the Siren mission just because of a bug that, well, it wasn't really it was more like an oversight. I had gotten the airlock damaged, and I had to breach it in order to get at the last robot hiding in there. And by breaching, it removed the airlock entirely, and none of my build options allowed me to replace the destroyed airlock. It was just like, what the hell? So I save scummed, and yeah, there was a couple of save scum moments, like when I tried to shave a corner of I was screwing around with editing and removing hulls, and when you do that, sometimes corners will create a hull breach, for real hull breach, and so all the air goes out, and I couldn't repair it properly, so I just save scummed there. The other save scum was when I removed both of my system cores, thinking that I could just build another larger system core in its place, and I ended up having no tech blocks, and I'm completely screwed because, of course, when you remove all the system cores, you can't run anything important that, say, builds tech blocks. So and I was in a spot that that no ship was going to come by with the tech block. So I'm like, screw it. So I saved scum there. Yeah, that was a dirt moment. So the idea is to have 2 shifts for breaks, so your guys can eat as much algae as possible so they don't starve. But when you actually get onto a real kitchen, you're able to cut down to 1 break. And it was advised, I read on Discord a couple of days ago, that if your guys are hungry, they're going to, and they're starving, they're going to damage your food equipment when they finally, at the end of their workday, go to get food. So put your break at after they wake up. So I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. So when I finally got them on the actual working kitchen, which I'm going to place up there, where it's building right now, I get them on that, and I eventually, I forget, but I eventually during this session get them on that 1 break and remove the break before bedtime, and it works out okay. They don't end up starving, and the bonus to that is that they go for their regular poops and get the influx of biomatter, but they eat less, so I need less fertilizer to make, well, eventually, the logistics of the thing means that I'm saving more fertilizer by halving my food intake, obviously, which means that my composters can now keep up with the fertilizer demand of the 4 grow beds. And I'll eventually have 2 fruit, 1 potato, and 1 nut for my grow beds. They've trained up botany to level 5, so I can do that. And it works out okay so far. Like by the end of the session, I'm kind of hovering around 50 potatoes and fruit each, so I'm pretty happy about it. And of course I adjusted the kitchen settings to be green all across the board. Optimal, of course. Ouch. Like, how do I get to that guy? I should really go work in teams of 2. Honestly, I instead of a point man, I should just split them up into teams of 2 and work that way. I mean, the lasers do an excellent job on the bugs. So if I have one, just leapfrog them. But I don't do this session. I'm a noob. So I eventually take everybody who I rescue as crewmen, because it's like, screw it, I'll do it on the fly. That means I've got 1 extra person. Where do I put them in the shifts? So I eventually have, and I've renamed all my guys, if you noticed, to, I might have done that last session, but I renamed all my guys, so I've got them all lined up properly in their shifts. But I've got shift 1, shift 3, and shift 2. It's just the way I had the schedule. So the shift 1 goes to sleep, then shift 3 goes to sleep, then shift 2 goes to sleep. So I've got a good visual indicator of where I'm at in my break system. It takes me a while to realize that Daria is not male. She's female. she is a woman. Changed that name to be a bit more feminine. And I changed the colors because it's like, screw it, I'm sick of having black androids on my team. I don't actually add a fourth storage bay to my ship in the main cargo area bay this session. Probably eventually will, but I figure it costs 5 infra blocks, and I'm really not spending 5 infra blocks on stuff I don't need. So there goes another storage bay for my food, and it takes freaking forever to transfer all the food. It's hilarious. Yeesh. Oh dear. Save scum coming up. Thankfully, it had auto-saved right before. So I'm completely clueless at the moment. I've there's exclamation marks everywhere in warnings, and I'm like, what the hell? What's going on? So I'm like, what the? So I try to fix it, right? Okay, it's fixed, right? So fix it. Great. But those little bits don't go away. So I'm like, what the hell? It's just cosmetic. I just refuse to have it. So I'm like, okay, great. So luckily my food storage settings had been saved, and they're happily transferring. And then I go, yeah, let's cancel that. Let's not allow you to do anything that's going to cause a breach. So I put in another bed. Eventually I widened the medical bay after the siren incident outwards. So I put a little larger alcove in for the medical bay, so it actually becomes a proper room. So I can put 3 medical beds in a row, and I leave the other half empty in anticipation of putting in advanced beds and replacing everything with advanced beds. But still, it's just the tech block cost is just, I don't want to remove and destroy anything if I absolutely can just use it as is. I think the only advantage to the advanced medical bay, I think, is just it takes 2 squares instead of 3, or that's what I'm thinking. There could be more advantages to advanced medical bay, maybe faster healing, but yeah, my main consideration is space. So I'll eventually have 3 composters, one composting if more than 10 biomatter, another one at 20 biomatter, a third one for 30 biomatter, and I figure that'll deal with it. I forget to check my biomass at the end of this session. I'll probably do it at the beginning of the next session, just to see if I need a 4th composter, because I removed that second break for my guys who were pooping out algae and then eating the composted. Yeah, they weren't happy, but they were alive. They weren't dying from toxin stuff. It was great. I mean, I guess you could just do away with grow beds entirely and just feed them on algae, period, and not have too many issues. Didn't seem to be, but I think once I get into the more difficult areas of space, having them happy is probably a good idea. good mood and not willing to surrender so quickly, and they're working faster and all that stuff. That was the idea behind grow beds anyways, and it's fun to feed them good food. Your little pixel muppets. Yeah, takes forever, so I'm just going to speed it up. Oops. Yeah, it takes absolutely forever. The problem is turning at 8 times playback speed is that there's no sound. Except my dulcet tones. Alright. So I'll let that go by 8 times just until everything is squared away. Because yeah. And it's luck. I am so happy in the beginning of the game, I had everybody who was my original characters to actually have 3 carry capacity. Re-rolled until I got that. It's super important. Especially in annoying times like these. God, it was like, Jesus, this is taking so long. And I was looking at my grow beds and going, oh man, they're not getting tended to, and yeah, priorities eventually do get sorted. There we go. We'll slow it down. What is that actually? Oh, immediately anything above 4, they cut the sound. You guys have the option of going into settings and turning up the speed of your video by up to 2 times. So that'll get you times 8 speed. And during this session, I eventually realized that times 4 speed in game is going to hurt when I make the video, but I figure making it 2 times will actually be beneficial, because that'll mean times 8 speed but with sound. So I'm like, okay, so I eventually hit on the idea of going double speed in game, which should be about perfect for watching. That means I get more stuff done in real time when making the video, and you guys don't have to watch these guys move semi-quickly and actually move decently fast. Because it's hard to follow at times 4 times 4, but I figure at times 2 times 4, it'll be easier to follow the action of what's going on. So I'm confused about no facility. It's like, I'm always confused about that. It's like, wait, what? They're not using the basic learning station. Why is there no facility? It's a bit confusing. And sometimes you swear they'd be eligible to be go to learning computer, but the learning computer is like, nope. It's really weird. Yeah, the game is finicky. And I am going to go over my weight limit by a large amount eventually. I correct it belatedly after the siren mission. Actually, I just keep keep expanding my ship and just adding more weight, and I don't add any more hyperdrives, and they end up getting damaged. But luckily, just needing tools to fix it. So I don't really notice it that much because, they're not broken. But I don't push my luck too much. So I figure, okay, I'm going to put a chair in there, and I've got 3 spaces. They can stand and eat at a table there. So that's actually pretty good, actually. I'm thinking, hey, that's really cool. I could have 1 chair, 1 table, and then free spaces on 2 sides, and they'll be able to stand up eating there. I don't think I see any of them actually do that. Because eventually, once I get that going, now the kitchen's operational. Nobody actually needs, I've got, I might, I'm dithering here. I'm just speculating. They might actually do that. We'll have to see. In between the time now that I've turned on my kitchen and the time when I realize, I just need to cut everybody down to 1 break instead of 2. So they don't eat unnecessary amounts of food, or good food, should I say. You totally need it for algae, but unnecessary for actual decent food. The one annoyance I find is that your spaceship's battle sounds aren't very loud at all when you're following the action of your starfighters. It's kind of annoying. Okay, so I've got the shield, basic shield, that has nothing. The shield's already gone now. It's no good against robots at all. But it is useful. It's a necessary piece against micrometeorites, as I've mentioned before. So it's essential. Now I put a storage bay next to the medical bay so I can have my IV and my med packs in there. Basically, that would be it, essentially. That would be in that storage bay, but I think it's an investment well made. And I'll eventually start putting more storage bays near industry spots where I can isolate the usage, like having a storage bay next to my item fabricator, and a storage bay next to my chemical refinery and stuff like that. Just kind of make things easier for logistics. Not this session, but I'm getting there. It's just lack of space. I've got a lot of hull blocks now I could expand, but I'm always hesitant to. It's as little as possible. Yeah, it's definitely on my mind for next session. And I find out that my Tech 2 hyperdrives are actually 5 spaces long instead of 4. So I have to take that in consideration when I go to replace eventually next session sometime, maybe, those hyperdrives I've turned off. Because, yeah, I eventually actually, for the first time ever playing this game, get Tech 2 hyperdrives. Yeah, yay me. Oh, I read on Discord you get more resources out of when you claim a wreck like this instead of abandoning it. I have a doubt. Watching my scrap levels of, yeah, from what I got, I had a serious doubt about this. I figure that the only advantage is more hull blocks because you can actually rip out everything, like the floor and stuff like that. Whereas, if you just abandon it, you can just take out the bulkhead walls. But if you claim it, you can rip out everything, and you can take out the entire ship. So you get a bit more hull blocks, but I think that's about it. I could be wrong. You could get more out of the items you disassemble. Like maybe salvaging it is less valuable compared to dismantling. But I'm just guessing at this point. And the amount of effort it took to actually deal with this was annoying as hell. So I'm not interested in oodles of more hull blocks when I've got a lot already. And just next time, I'll just abandon the ship. I'm just not interested in like, this is a small ship. What about a bigger ship, right? The amount of effort put into what you get out of it is not worth it. So yeah, it looks cool, but yeah, it's just like, yeah, whatever. So I'm looking for tech blocks, of course. Hard to come by. Not too worried about water. Got lots of ice. I do get get worried about the water near the end of the session, but for now it's like no problem. Get lots of ice. I'm like, where's my? I was like, where's my nuts going? Wait a minute. Let me backtrack. What were they doing? Were they... Yes, that was it. Yeah, good thing I misunderstood that for a second. See, what they're doing is they're going and eating space food. Yeah, they just took 3 space food. They're eating the space food. So I figured, okay, well, my space food's down there. I'll allow them to eat from there because I assume that they'll go to the kitchen first. They will ignore the space food until there's no other better options. But they were like, well, we're nearby. We're just going to take the food and we're going to eat it without a table right there. So I'm like, yeah, no, you're not. I think about it. I get distracted by a squirrel. But I think the best way to do it would be to make a small storage bay in your eating area for space food. So when you're running low on supplies and don't want to go back to the 2 break situation with algae, you just allow eating from there. But yeah, the food goes quick. I mean, they, for 16 will be good for an entire day, and then it's all gone. Yeah. So I've still got 1, 2, 3. Now I eventually, it's when you're new, you zoom out and try to spot what's going on with your resource mining. But there's icons. You just saw one disappear right there, up in the upper right. And I've got 2 more resource piles to mine. So I just let my miner keep on doing what it's doing. And I still to this day do not quite understand the power overlay, and how power is generated, how the power network is working for fuel consumption efficiency when you turn the power generation of your generator down to only produce power when it's below a certain threshold. And I'm hoping it's saving me energy rods, but I could be wrong. So I try to get everybody suited up. Got my basic scopes now. I'm happy with that. Give as many people rifles as possible with, I think, with scopes. The idea, of course, is to have backup for when the siren mission goes haywire, because you know it's going to. Yeah, 5 waves, just incredible. Yeah, the best way is just abandon it, the island, to the bots, and then come and kill them later once you've dealt with the fighters, when you're safe. And yeah, you don't have much time before this next wave. I've got flatlined construct priority, which ended up having my siren base, when I went to build it, be dealt with by one person, because everybody else was flatlined, or everybody's flatlined for construct. So I was happy with the way it turned out, so I wouldn't advise increasing that priority for a construct. It's working out so far. Like, eventually, I'm sure after yonks of playing this game, priorities will be a no-brainer to me, but it seems pretty esoteric at the moment. Oh yeah, I think I try to relocate my weapons to the first, the one facing the airlock, um, in the expectation that I can go for my stun guns when I'm all lined up, and thinking, oh hey, maybe I want to capture these guys instead of killing them, or terribly injuring them. So I think, oh okay, well maybe I'll do that and have the option of switching out without too much confusion about where my guns are. I'm worried though right now, thinking about it. It's like, if I get into a big firefight, will the stray fire destroy my storage bins and I'll lose all that stuff? I don't think so. I don't think the mechanics of the game will allow the stuff stored to be lost. Conservation of energy and all that stuff. But yeah, I think once you repair it, it'll come back to life with everything in it still. I think that's my hope. So that's when I realized, oh right, she's female. She's a woman. Let's get her name changed to something a little bit more appropriate and in line with getting my guys lined up for shifts. with their names. Yeah, I'm really happy that I can change their first letter of their names and have them switch location on that, because you can't drag and drop them on that display up there on your HUD. All right. So everybody's awake. We're ready to go. And the idea, of course, is to, if you got multiple wrecks, is to go kick the crap out of one wreck, don't salvage it, and quickly go to the next wreck and deal with that. So your best team has dealt with both wrecks, and then you can salvage at your leisure. Or you can just be lazy and do what I do. I try to be optimal in my usage of shifts to get things going combat-wise. And I figure, well, hell, I've got enough time, let's do this. I hate getting ambushed right at the beginning without being able to kneel right away. I wish there was more opportunities to take cover behind stuff, but yeah, no, that's not a thing. It's only a thing if you can actually create a situation when you can do that, like aboard your own ship. Because most time when you try to take cover behind the cover available on other ships, your stray fire ends up destroying your cover as well as them destroying your cover as well. So yeah, just kneel and cross your fingers. That's my skill level at this point. All right, so we're almost at siren event, and I'm really happy I only saved scum once during that siren event. Yeah, mostly it's, you know, when the game's mechanics drive you nuts with unintended consequences like hull breaches where you can't fix it properly, and it's ugh. And when the NPCs are stubbornly refusing to be rescued, it's like, I ain't gonna rescue you, damn it. And have to, even if I have to reload 6 times. Yeah, splitting up into pairs and leapfrogging that way, either individually or in pairs, leapfrogging is probably the smartest thing. I didn't do it this session, but you know, I'm starting to realize that doing that would save me a hell of a lot of headaches in the future, especially once the game gets harder, and it will. Jesus, I'm on the baby steps systems right now. Apparently there's like 20 systems, solar systems you can visit in this game. Somebody on Discord mentioned it. I'm not sure how reliable that is, but yeah, I'm willing to assume that's the case around about. So yeah, and then I realized, the robots are just on that island there. So I just go kill them. Whatever. I don't need shields or point defense. I'm almost about to lose my fighter there. Whoops. I haven't triggered a trap yet of robots for a while now. I'm getting complacent. Usually you go for loot like that, it's like, trap. And there's the fire. It happened up there near the research. It might have happened during the research. And then there's smoke damage. Pretty sure. Yeah, smoke damage when I go for smoke, and you can see it traveling down towards the gas scrubber down there. So I'm like, oh boy, I need another one up there quick. So I'm like, where the hell do I put it? So I can't put it there. It's going to block travel. So I eventually get smart and put it up there. Yeah. Or no, I move it. Yeah. And I put a vent there. So yay, I'm smart. Yay, SMRT. Yeah, thank God I didn't have my crops die. I hate that. So then I realized, oh, water vapors. I was clicking through the options. I'm like, why is that purple? I'm like, oh crap. Might be a good idea to have water collectors in the areas I block off for airlocked. I didn't know why that shields was turned down. The slider, I had no idea why that slider was at 0. I didn't think too much about it. I'm like, what? That doesn't look right. I have no idea why it was that way, and didn't put too much thought into it beyond just fixing it. So yeah. Give me optronics there, so I'm self-reliant. I'm almost self-sufficient for tech blocks. Thank God. If I were to do the siren mission again, it would be way more medical bays and probably another point defense, but as you can see, I've got 0 system points, so it should have been no problem to move stuff around, put another system. I've got 2 core points left. I could put a medium system core in and be able to put more point defense in and other stuff. So yeah, at least 2 point defense. And the reason I have, if you noticed, I'm sure I mentioned it last time when I was putting them in, but you see the scanner and the shield. The robots love to shoot at them. It's their main #1 target. So I figured, hey, I hate point defense because they're never in range of anything and they're useless at accuracy. Why not put them in the middle of the targets that the rogue drones go after? So it was a smart decision on my part, but against siren missions, yeah, you need, putting another point defense right next to it would be ideal. And ideally I'd widen that area as well to give more leeway because you're going to get micro fractures in your hull when the rogue bots are shooting at at their targets of choice. So yeah, having that area be completely isolated from having micro fractures interrupt other areas of your ship. So yeah, pro tip, I'm assuming. So I jump into the wrong place. I'm like, oh, I want to be closer. My point defense could be closer. So what I do is, oops, I took massive damage to my engines. Luckily, the save scum will allow me to, once I do it, you'll see. Once I do the save scum, I will be able to jump properly and not have the amount of damage I took from jumping immediately while I was, as you can see in the upper left, just massively over my weight limit in a very uncool fashion. So here we go. So the thing is, I shoot, and apparently I damaged the door by shooting. I did not realize that. Next time when it's, well, it can't really, well, maybe you can avoid it by docking elsewhere and having the robots come out to attack you. But when you dock there and come out, you've got the possibility of actually damaging the airlock door, and the robots in there are going to, so when you breach it, you destroy the entire door, and there's no option to frickin' repair it properly. It's so annoying. I'm gonna slow it down actually. So yeah, first things first, of course, repair that airlock door. So I'm like, no problem. Where's the option to build a airlock? No, what kind of airlock door do I get? This thing. Come on, figure it out. There you go. So it's like, airlock? Do I use it? No. I don't use that. I go to wall. That's it. Smart boy. So, station hull door. So I'm like, what the... Now, I'm not sure, like, can I place it there? Like, I wasn't sure. I might have just, did I try to build it? Or did I just see the red and go, that's not possible, I'm not going to do that. I might have been able to build that. I didn't try, I just saw red outline and was like, oh, that's not going to work. So I didn't try to click on it. I could have fixed it, but I just saved scum. I'm like, screw this. And here we go. Land properly this time. Yay. So I'm like, okay, what I'll do is I'll have one of them, I'll wait till the root vegetables of that bed are completely done. Then I'll put in nuts because, and then I changed the botany. It was like, wait a minute. No, I don't. Maintenance. I think I eventually put that maximum. It's like, get people off research who aren't maximum research level. And have hopefully at least one per shift, and do that the same for industry. Make sure nobody's using the equipment that they're not highly skilled at. Leave logistics as is. I think I eventually turn botany priority to highest. I'm checking gunners, which, you know, is redundant because I'm probably not going to put guns in for quite some time, if ever. The shield. Yeah, screw around with priorities. I mean, having them, the skilled ones, have the highest priority is probably smart because you need them to go to that station and not screw around with logistics or maintenance or stuff like that. Yeah, happy with that. Alright. Just tweaking the new members to the team. Yeah, I'm fairly sure later on I turn the botany priority up. But I might not. Anyways. Oh, damn it, not again. Luckily, I kneel quickly. It's small enough, I don't need to care about prioritizing which gets salvaged first. Okay, here we go. So the waves don't start until you build the sensor. I end up not needing the save scum point. And luckily, I end up killing them before I damage the door. So, yay. I probably would have had to reload that save scum if the door was damaged. It's just... And I worried about these guys. Are they losing air standing there? So I just drafted them just in case. They might have moved, but I was like, I wasn't going to take the chance. And I shouldn't have really built the gas scrubber. I'm like, oh, what's it need? Gas scrubber. So, yeah, you totally didn't need it. Meaningless effort. It eventually gets destroyed anyways because the robots just swarm that place and just shoot everywhere. So there's 5 waves. First wave is no problem. So you need, for the mission, you need 3 energy, 2 point defense, and 1 siren scanner. And it's pointless building anything more than that. Just a waste of resources. Your sensor array and point defense will be damaged by the ground robots. So it's, making more of them is just going to completely redundant and a moot point. It just gets shot up by the ground units. Yeah, my medical bay gets overwhelmed. Absolutely. So yeah, I've got 45 biomatter. Now that am I down to 1 break? Pretty sure I am. No, I'm not. Because if I was down to 1 break, you wouldn't have so many people taking the breaks at the same time. So I'm still, yeah, got a lot of biomatter. So the reason there's only, like I said before, the reason there's only, one sec. The reason there's only 1 guy working is because I've flatlined construction priorities. And there would have been more, I guess, if I'd had it higher priority. But it's working so far for me. So I wasn't too worried about it. I have time before I make the sensor, before this stuff gets built. So I'll just wait till all the stuff gets built, then build the sensor. So no big deal. Yeah, there I go. turn up priorities. Now, I a little bit too draconian on that because I need the research people and the industry people to prioritize that stuff over botany. I eventually tailored it a little bit more customized for that. But for now, it's like yank up the botany priority so they don't get the unintended penalty. Okay, I think we're ready to go. I don't hesitate too long. I wish I'd made more cover, but I think the bug of not being able to shoot robots automatically when they're in a certain spot would have doomed me all anyways. Because a lot of the times you can't watch both places at once, and you end up, yeah, having a whole bunch of people cocooned. And pro tip, when they're cocooned, they're safe. Their oxygen goes down really, really slowly. If you try to rescue them, you can't pick them up cocooned. You have to uncocoon them, and they're not in spacesuits, so they lose oxygen quick. So yeah, oof. Yeah, I just ended up ignoring my cocoon people until I could come rescue them once I learned the mechanics of it. Okay, wave 1. So my best team is down there, and I've got even more people too. So I've got a ton of people down here, and I try to get them all safe behind cover. Here they come. So that was dealt with. Yay, wave 1. Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, that was easy. I shouldn't have, yeah, I changed my mind about that. It was like, yeah, let's get as many people over there idling as possible. So when the robots attack, I can deal with them. But what I should have done was tone down that and keep them off working at all on that station, and so have everybody on my main base so I could go assault them with my best team or close to the best team. And instead of being trapped with whatever's there, I can choose who's going over there, and I'm not going to have random people just be over there trying to defend themselves, which was really bad. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I survived. Wave 2, here we go. So in future, I'll not go loot stuff in space until the end of wave 5, and then I'll loot stuff in space. I luckily didn't end up losing. I think I lose a miner actually. Yeah, you lose that mining ship. Look at that, just tons of, yeah, one of my guys gets destroyed. Yeah. And there goes this mining vessel. Or construction vessel. Yeah, don't go loot in the middle of the battle. So yeah, Maria has the submachine gun. Tries her best, but I think, yeah. Got people in beds. It's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, don't loot until end of wave 5. nose is super itchy. Damn allergies. Wave 3. So, yeah, won't stand a chance. Get surrounded too many times. Cocooned. And those are cocooned, and I'm like, oh, great. Yeah, it's just randomly who's ever over there just gets bushwhacked. Don't leave anybody there. So I'm like, oh God, what's going on? Who's that cocoon person? So I'm like, no. Then I realized, okay, everybody's alive. Okay, phew. That was a funny moment during the mission. It's like, oh, because everybody was still alive. I'm like, are you putting somebody who's alive in the composter? It's like, no, you're. I eventually turned the shuttle off. It was causing too many issues. I think in wave 4 or something. So I'm like, okay, we're going to dock here. This is what the plan is. Just take your best guys, go in, take them out, and watch. Just miss. It's like, what the fuck? So taking damage unnecessarily. That was annoying. Yeah, if you're not watching, that's what's going to happen. So if you're wondering why your guys are always like deaded, that's why. Yeah, there are spots on this map that the bots are just immune to fire. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah, as long as they're hitting, no problem. Don't salvage until the bloody end. Yeah, I never learn. Yeah, I mean, I assume that a second point defense would have really helped. See the microfracture? Still inside that enclosed area. The problem is now that my shuttle is docked at a broken space station, so I can't board the shuttle. It was so annoying. And now that I've uncocooned her, I'm like, oh, Jesus, she's losing oxygen so quick. So we repair it. Cannot repair it up cover, saying cannot repair cover. But I was able to repair the space dock and get those guys on board and the hell out of there. Hi, Crispin. And Ball. There we go. I don't have enough space for everybody. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'll get everybody back and deal with that later. And oh God, the final wave. It felt like there was 8 waves. Seriously. Well, you had the initial one where that scout bot called rogue bots on you. That wasn't part of any wave. And then it just, yeah, feels so overwhelming. Yeah, there's no way that Crispin and Camel are gonna survive this, and Ball's just gonna die instantly. And can I get everybody in there? Oh, damn it. Alright. So, finally. I think the shuttle is driving me nuts, so I have to stop the actual facility itself. Because I try to draft it, but eventually it goes, I'm going to undraft myself. I'm like, now it's safe to go salvage. So I'm like, what the hell is that shuttle doing? So I toned down the logistics. I'm not sure if I increase it during this session. I just flatlined logistics. Is that going to be a problem? And I'm not sure, like, the damage sensor and the damage shield. I'm not sure whether that's logistics or maintenance. I think the arrows pointing up and down are logistics, and the gear signs over those icons is maintenance. Wife's up, so mute mic. All right, here is when the annoyance. Wife's gone to bed. Here's when the annoyance is going to come into play, because I've got only a few hours left to get their perished crew members back. But I assumed that that would become the salvage team's highest priorities. I didn't have the other ship expedited, so I figured they'd go and retrieve the perished crew members, because it seems to be when you're salvaging a ship, it's the first thing they do. But no, they're still dealing with the other ship, and I'm like, guys, let's get on this. And spoiler alert, I wait too late, and I actually encounter a bug where I get 2 of the 3 crew members aboard the shuttle, and it takes off to complete the mission, and I'm still carrying the 3rd crew member, who's dead, to the shuttle. It was just so bizarre. I had like 1 hour left to complete it. I'm like, woohoo, I'm going to do it. And the shuttle takes off on me, and I'm like, what the hell? So, yeah, be aware that it might be your first priority, the AI's first priority, when you are salvaging one ship, but when you're salvaging 2 ships, it doesn't give a damn. Yeah, it's just really bizarre. So I think in the future, in the future, I will make sure that I manually get my guys over there as soon as possible, and get those, with the shuttle, get those guys aboard the ship, and retrieved. But I don't. When I went over there, I don't think I could see the actual dead crew members. Could I salvage them? I'm pretty sure I could. It was just I left it to the last minute, and the AI screwed up on me. But it did eventually. After the mission was failed, the shuttle came back and got the 3rd member and brought it to the NPC ship. It was ironic. Well, I'm not sure. No, I guess it's ironic in an AI sense. Not the current. Sorry, don't want to get into that. I'm not talking about AI. Yeah, I'm not going to even go into politics or the stupidity. Yeah, anyways, this is a game. Let's focus on the game's AI and not... Anyways. Okay, so I'm interested in Chorus Haulers. There's no real interaction with me. I don't get their backstory. I don't get any story about them at all. Unfortunately, they just a faction name, and that's it. And they take off soon enough, and I don't interact with them at all. It's very bizarre. In a way that would let me know what their faction is like beyond just the name. Ah, yes, priorities. What fun. I'm wondering why there's only 1 starfighter out. But I think shift 2 has the most fighters, and they were all asleep. And I think this is the one time there were no bots or bugs on the ship. I was quite surprised. I moved on quickly, but I was like, oh, that's weird. Didn't put too much thought into it, though. And these guys don't have a lot of credits, so it took me a while to realize, oh, I need to buy some stuff. Okay, hyperdrive next. So I thought I'd be able to put in my X2 generator right there with no problems, but I was wrong. A little bit too big. Yeah, I felt super silly for having that airlock be the wrong direction for quite some time during this session. It was pretty funny. It took me so long to... Well, it was the facilities there don't get used a lot, so I didn't have a lot of opportunities to watch my guys come to and fro. Now the icon for salvaging of that derelict is off, but I wonder if yeah, it's completely salvaged. Okay. And I've realized during this session I can activate hyperspace the whole kibbutz through this screen and not the other hyperdrive menu. Took me a while. I think I remember doing it years ago, but it took me a while to relearn that. Right, I'm back in the Haven, where the Haven fleet is. And I don't find any of their crew members worth hiring. I go for technology instead, which is great because one of them was robot technology, which is hard for me to get early game. So I got that, and that allowed me to leapfrog my way into researching hypersleep. And the other one I got was advanced medical bay. I was able to leapfrog over nano the stimulants in the nano medical patch to get advanced medical bay right away. So I didn't end up building any this session because of, tech blocks, but it was cool to get. Yeah, the battle against extreme heat ongoing. I wish when you planted the thermal regulators that it would show you the intensity of the heat or of the regulation and the radius of the area effect of the regulation as well, so you could get to learn a little bit more about where not to place them and where the best spots to put them and where the best spots to place standalone and not a wall mounted one. But yeah, thanks developers. So robot architecture and advanced medical bay, and I've got 0 points, so yay. So hypersleep, damn straight. And I get rid of stimulants and nano wound dressing because don't need them. So hyperdrive, here we come. I realized later that, yeah, maybe I do need the nano dressing, so let's not totally eliminate that research. Yeah, I mean, I never actually have used nano dressings in an actual combat situation, so there's that, but never know. Open wounds don't seem to bleed out a lot. That's why I don't really care about dressings. So I'm low electronic parts, so I'm like, oh, better get a metal refinery. But where? So I end up widening that southwest corner, or the southern corner. Totally guessing on hyperdrive sizes for Tech 2. I eventually put a storage bay next to that, but I put a large one. I bet I could get away with putting in a small one. The amount of base and noble metals you get is you can in one hand, right? So 5 info blocks. That's a lot. Yeah, I thought about putting in a Tech 1 hyperdrive, but then instantly thought, you know what? That research is coming along pretty well for the hyperdrives, and here comes my save scum point. So I disassemble them. I figure I have enough salvage to make another tech block. But then I realize, belatedly, that I've just removed my ability to make more tech blocks. So I'm like, oops. Luckily, see that auto-saved? Yeah. I'll be taking advantage of that. So I just need to build a metal refinery again. Done. And then I go, okay, nah, I'm just going to move them. So I move one over there and one there. There we go. Because I wanted to get rid of both of them and build a large system core. I can only do a medium system core because don't have enough core points. I think if you enlarge the ship, like the canvas, you get more core points to play with. But I'm like, you know what? I don't really need a large one. I can get away with 2 small and 1 medium. No big deal. Especially in my difficulty level, with the lack of being able to. Now I could have edited. You can edit the starting game to allow you to have full recovery of all the ingredients when you disassemble something, but I went with mostly, almost all actually, default settings for a harsh difficulty, except of course full edit on characters, because yeah, 3 carry capacity is pretty big. Okay, there's the medium. Put a storage bay. Large one. I was off giving this wife a massage. I failed to watch the part of the video where it was showing me whether or not they were eating at the table in the kitchen area, that alcove. But now we're down to 1 break. Everybody's going to be sitting in a chair. I was going to put carbon there, but then I realized that A few other industries use carbon. I'd rather have it in the middle of the ship in my main storage area. I think I still have logistics flatlined in priorities. And it's working out fine so far. I'll have to check that at the beginning of my next session. I wasn't watching the video. I was busy. Yeah, happy wife, happy life. Now Crispin is working. He sat at that chair. And Alina's sitting there. She's also working, chair. So it's, yeah. I don't think anybody's actually sat at the chair inside that original industry area. I haven't been, you guys might have noticed it, but I have not yet. I sure like that middle chair. I've seen, somebody sitting in the southern chair. And yay, my first Tech 2 hyperdrive. I realized I didn't have a gas scrubber in there. Durr. Okay, so I eventually put 3 of those drives and then turn off all my hyperdrives, my Tech 1s. It doesn't change mass instantly when you turn stuff off and on the up in the upper left, the mass indicator. Kind of confusing, actually. I'm sure there's some mechanic I'm not aware of. Yeah, grab everybody's water. Now, as you can see, I'm going, I've probably been running for a while under double speed in game. And I think I'm okay with it. Like, everybody's moving really fast, but I can still see kind of what they're doing and where they're going. So I think it's fine. I think it's working out great. Yeah, almost at the end here. Yeah, I keep seeing people rest in that chair in the lower area, but not in my original area for industry. Very bizarre. Ricky and the other industry people might not work there enough to actually need a break and to be sitting down in that area. And other people going for a seat are going to find the outside airlock one easier to get to. Alright, so I'm eventually turning off all my Tech 1 hyperdrives. Yeah, I'll add a third hyperdrive to it. Going all Tech 2. That means I should be saving on hyperdrive fuel because it's more efficient. I feel like I'm in the big leagues now that I have Tech 2 hyperdrives. And there we go. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. There we go. Have a good one.